Howdy, comrades! This is Andre Agnes Desjardins for a Outlaws of Thunder Junction Prada Pack. Yes, we do that. Get it open. We got a mercenary token. Excellent. I'm going to put that here. Give it a flip. Alright, first up is Steer Clear. It's 1 white, instant, 2 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. That's pretty standard. 4 damage to that creature if you controlled amount as you cast this spell. This is usually a D card. You can put it in, you don't want a bunch of them. They have very high diminishing returns. If you have a bunch of mounts, it might go up to, the first one might go up to C plus or D minus. They're better on defense because even if I kill a blocking creature, they still blocked, right? Like, that's still tempo negative for me. So this is probably like a D minus, may get up to a C minus if you have mounts. I'm not considering that at all. Alright, next up, Voracious Varmint. Varmint? I think it's Varmint. It's green and colorless for a 2/2 creature Varmint Vigilance and sacrifice to destroy target artifact or enchantment. This is like a C. 2/2 for 2 that with Vig. You may get to do something with it. Happy put this in my deck. Let's go on next to... yeah, we'll do that. You're winning. You're winning, Varmint. You're winning. Good job. Trick Shot. A red and 4 colorless for an instant 6 damage to target creature and 2 damage to up to 1 other target token creature. This is like your D removal in red. The 6 damage will kill the creature. Sometimes you'll kill a mercenary token or something else that's with it. This is like D removal. I'm sticking with the efficient creature first. Alright. Desperado Bloodseeker. Black and colorless for a vampire. It's 2/2 lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, target player mills 2 cards. Again, I'm putting it on par with this. I hope green-black graveyard things are a thing, in which case I'd probably take that a bit higher. I might be wrong, though. Enchantments and artifacts might be very important to get rid of. Ooh, let's see if this artifact is important to get rid of. Gold Pan. It's an artifact equipment. When it enters the battlefield, make a treasure token. Okay, ramps, fixes you. Equip creature gets +1/+1. And equip 1. All this, I'm going to say it's probably a C. You probably won't be embarrassed to put one of these in your deck, but like, it doesn't do a big bunch by itself. The equip cost is right, though. The equip cost, treating you right. The treasure makes it playable. Probably C. Probably you'd be happy to play this in your deck, but if you don't, that's fine. And you probably don't want a bunch of them. Next up, Phantom Interference. It's a blue for an instant with Spree. So again, you have to cast one, the other, or both. So for 3, create a 2/2 white spirit creature token with flying and +1. Counter target spell unless controller plays 2. So blue and a colorless for a counter spell unless controller plays 2 has played out good the last 2 sets. Probably going to continue to play out good. I think it's just a fine limited card. 4 mana for a 2/2 white flyer at an instant speed. Well, not great, is playable, and you can do it all for 6. Generally, unless it's a really expensive bomb, they're able to pay for the 2 whenever they cast, you cast it for 6. But I think this is a good card. I think just the sum of the whole, the fact that the base is the 2 mana counterspell unless they pay 2, which has just played out fine the last few limited sets it's been in. And so it's like a C there. I'm going to bump it up to a C plus just for the modality of it. So I would consider that. Next up, uncommon. Plan the Heist. No, there's no beefcake. Look at that Oko. No beefcake whatsoever. 2 blue, 2 colorless. Sorcery, Surveil 3. If you have no cards in hand. Then draw 3 cards. And you can plot it for a blue and 3 colorless. Okay, so it's 4 mana, draw 3 cards. Sorcery speed. These have been super playable in many core formats. They get less and less playable in other formats. The fact you can surveil 3 if you know cards in hand, super bonus. And plots for the same amount of mana. I don't see a lot of times where you're like, I understand it's like so you can plot this, so you can play your other cards and then, you know, get better value out of it and not wasting the mana. In limited, most time you're probably not going to be plotting this. You're probably, if you find the time to take 4 mana and tap and do something, you probably just want to do it then so you can like hit your 5th land, get a couple spells. The only time you would plot it for the plot is like if you have a 2 spells a turn, which is what the red-blue deck is, but there's going to be a lot of times where you're just casting this. You should be happy just drawing 3 cards with it. You don't need to work to get the Surveil 3. If you get it, fine, it happens, but you should also just be happy drawing 3 cards with it. I don't know where this lands, because this is more of a format-dependent card. Like, can you afford to take 4 mana off? This is a fine thing to do with 4 mana off. I'd much rather just the 5 mana one that draws 3, or draws and lets me plot. That seems way better than this, even though it's 1 more mana. I would put it below this to start. I think the modality of that is just better. Still plan the heist. Probably a C. I hope it's like a B, because I would love a format where it's a B, but I'm going to start just with recent formats that's a C. Alright. Rakish Crew. Look at those. Look at them all. Enchantment. Enters the battlefield. Create a 1/1 red mercenary creature token that with tap target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Enters the battlefield. Okay. So it makes a 1/1 for 3. Not really worth it. When an outlaw you control dies, each opponent loses life and you gain a life. And then Sats mercenaries, pirates, rogues, and warlocks are outlaws. This I would start off as like a D, and then if there is a black-white sacrifice deck, it's probably a C+ in there. Like in Limited, it's harder to nickel and dime. There has to be a really strong theme for it. I don't see a super strong theme, but maybe I'm underestimating how often you get mercenary tokens. But this is, I wouldn't start with it, but in a deck where you are going to be sacrificing creatures or going wide and a bunch of them are dying, you'll want this as like a C+, but I'm not starting with it. Alright. Next up, Return the Favor. 2 red, instant, spree. So copy target instant spell, sorcery spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. Or 1 red, change the target of the ability with a single target. This is an F. Do not put this in your deck. People dream big about, oh my god, this is going to happen. This is, I'm going to, switch their murder around or something. And it's just, in Modern Limited, there's very few decks that actually have a lot of instants or sorceries. And then they can play around this hard. Like, if I had a sniff that this was around, I am not casting murder while you have 3 mana up, and I'm just going to play another creature, and then you're behind. So this has very limited targets, very limited uses. Yes, with all cards, there are going to be some times where you should put it in your deck, but I'm saying this is an F. I'm saying don't put it in your deck, and if you don't, you are probably correct 98% of the time. If you want to live in Magical Christmas Land or have fun, that's fine. If you're against me, you can put this in your deck, because I'm not going to think you're playing it. I'm probably not going to play around it until the first time you cast it. But I think this is a bad card. Alright. Deep Muck Desperado. A blue and 2 colors for a home red mercenary? Crab people, yes. Whenever you commit a crime, each opponent mills 3 cards, and it's a 2/4. This ability triggers only once each turn, and it's a 2/4. The fact that it triggers only once each turn, not great. It, in theory, could be a finisher for a control crime deck, but then there are decks that make uses of their graveyard, so generally the mill a bunch, mill 'em all adventures are very hard and limited. I don't see this being any different. 2/4 for 3s, fine stats, but nothing special. I'll say C. Like, you can put it. You're probably not going to live the mill dream you want to, though. Alright. Here we got a mythic. Rakdos the Muscle. It's a red, 2 black, 2 colorless for a legendary creature, demon mercenary. 6/5 flying trample. When you sacrifice another creature, exile cards equal to its mana value from the top of target player's library. Till your end step, you may play these cards, and mana of any type can be spent to cast these spells. Sacrifice another creature, he gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it, activate only once each turn. I mean, it has a mythic symbol. It is crazy. You have random mercenaries around, and he gets indestructible. And it's like the other thing, fine, sometimes you'll steal the spells or whatever. You notice how I don't like going gold? There's an exception. This is where you are first picking this, and you want this in your deck. You really want this in your deck. For this, you're going to want to be base black because there's 2 black pips. You, of course, want to be black-red, but if you're like black-green or pick up a couple of your black X deserts that have red in them, you'll happily play this. Like, this guy, he's not a full-on... Actually, you know what? With the sacrifice a creature requires so little, he's on a full-on bomb. I'm going to say full-on bomb, absolutely worth playing. Just the fact he can become indestructible, that's what puts him on full-on bomb status. A-. He's what I'm first picking. I would love to see a mana drain and be like, nope, I'm taking the mana drain instead. Though I don't even know if mana drain would be that good. Alright, Repulse is a blue and 2 colorless. For an instant, return target creature to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Fantastic card. Great tempo play. Replaces itself. Can get rid of a token. I think in this format it's really more of a tempo play. Like they'll crew a mount or something like that. And then you just wash it away. There's not a lot of high value tokens in this format to get rid of, to kill with this. But yeah, this is a B. I would, if there wasn't Rakdos sitting there, I would take Repulse, but Rakdos the Muscle is sitting there. Alright, we got Outlaw Snitcher, a blue and 3 colorless. For a 1/4 when it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 black, 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature token, then put 2+1/+1 counters on this token for each spell you've cast other than the first. You can plot it for 5. You have to play this card for either mode. This may actually overtake Repulse. Just 2 creatures are fine, and you don't need to make the zombie big. 4 mana for 3/6 worth of stats is fine. If you have time to plot it, that's fine too. Yeah, and we got a desert, blue-green desert. When it enters the battlefield, you deal a damage, you commit a crime. Alright, so I'm taking Rakdos the Muscle because it's a bomb. And when I say bomb, I mean probably, I said A-, it's probably an A. Like, the only reason I wouldn't play this is because I have no chance of casting it. And I would draft really hard to cast it. If I see a black-red desert, like, they are way up on my list. There's not a lot of fun discussion in that, so we're going to skip that. But this is what you're picking, obviously. So for these blue cards, I'm cutting this for Repulse and the Stitcher. I think they're probably both the same power level. I'm going to... my heart leans to Repulse for some spell deck, but I'm probably going to lean to the Stitcher for the modality, and I just like the 2 bodies. And I do think the Stitcher is better than these guys. I also think Repulse is better than these guys. If this guy's good, I'm going to be really happy. I beat Rakdos. No, you didn't, buddy. No, you didn't, but good try. Anyway, I really enjoyed the pre-release. Hope to see you all drafting Friday and or Saturday at Exor, Truro, and or New Glasgow. Alright, everybody, this is Andre Eguidez Desjardins riding off into the sunset.